In five, four. Oh no, we're here. We're live.
Hey,
All right, they did that fast this time. Um, we are live. We're back at it again. We are the
Fandom Void.
and Let's see. We have me, Loopy. Woohoo! We've got Mama Tay,
yo yo.
and we've got Adair.
What up? What it do?
And this week we are talking about how do you say that? I've seen all of the John Wicks, and today I still
Oh,
cannot say it to this day.
Kino.
Parabellum.
No.
Oh, his name?
Yeah.
Keanu.
Yeah.
No. His nickname on John Wick.
Oh, Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
Yes, the one and only. That is the title of this episode. The one and only Baba Yaga.
The boogeyman.
Yes. And we're gonna start off ranting because I enjoy ranting.
Wow.
We're gonna start off with ranting about the fact that there's talk about a Matrix reboot. What?
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah. Like what? How do you reboot a story? First of all, how do you reboot a story that you stole? Let's start with
Wait,
that
wait. They get a bag of cats on that one. Wow, wow, wow.
It's stolen.
And then not only did you steal it, but you totally and completely ruined it with your follow-ups by making it a trilogy. You ruined it with the other two movies. So you stole it, then you ruined it. Now you want to reboot it. What?
Yeah. Yeah, because they've been paid for it now, so they might as well.
And by the way, she won in court when she sued them.
She did. And that's why I'm starting. You know what? I used to live and die by Snopes.com, for fact checking. But I found out that their fact checkers don't do any more than what we do, which is search the internet. That's all they do to check facts. I mean, they don't use any other periodicals, any other resources. So what they went by was a New York case where her name was it Dorothy? I don't know.
I don't look. I called her that lady that wrote the Matrix originally. That's what I call her.
Sophia Stewart. So Sophia Stewart was originally sued them in New York. Okay, and then the case was dismissed in New York because the Wachowski brothers and she was suing Warner Brothers, and that's just a huge case, and it went on and went on and went on and went on. So she had to. They finally dismissed the case. I think also she got sick, so they dismissed it. So Snopes will tell you she never won that lawsuit because they dismissed it. Well, she sued them again because she moved to, I believe it was Wisconsin somewhere, or something like that. She sued them again, and this time she sued them from a different state, and she won. She won the $3 million lawsuit. They had to pay her $3 million or something around that number.
Just $3 million?
I think maybe 300 million.
Okay, because them movies made a lot of money.
No, I think it was 3 million. But it says 300 million on here. I have to see.
She deserved more than 3 million for that.
Yeah, so she won that case. So there are actually two cases. And Snopes will quote you the one that was dismissed in New York, but not the one that was won in Wisconsin, I think 5 or 6 years later. So she did win. So basically, Warner Brothers, they bought that movie. They bought it. They bought and paid for it. So the question is, what's the reboot supposed to do? What's the purpose of it?
See, I ain't looked at depth into it because I was so angry about it. I thought it was stupid. So let's hear it there, and then while I look it up.
Well, wait, that's what I'm actually looking at. I actually looked it up, and I didn't know. Did she write the Terminator too?
Yes. But
Okay.
she didn't win on the Terminator. She won on the Matrix because I think
They just keep stealing her stuff.
She couldn't prove the Terminator. I don't think it was copywritten in time or something like that. But she could prove the Matrix was stolen.
Will they stop stealing this lady movies?
I mean, she's a great writer, and it wasn't movies; it was books. And both of them were allegories based on technology versus faith. So for her, Neo was supposed to be a type and shadow of Christ, and this was all about man versus technology. And in the end, man's quest to be like God through technology will end up bringing them to a
Oh
place where they were
no.
subservient to technology. Well, see, if they reboot it with Michael B.
Oh
Jordan,
no.
but
I
you know
hate
what?
him.
That would probably be close to what they really wanted because they originally went to Will
Will Smith. Well, because
to
he's
play the
supposed to
role
be a black.
of
That
Neo.
whole everyone that was good was supposed to be black, and everyone bad was supposed to be white.
That sounds about right.
So, I mean, I am for a male, a black male lead. I, however, am not for a Michael B. Jordan male black lead because I don't like him.
What I
And
think
it's
they're going
possibly
to do,
because his early career, like he was really, really robotic.
but he's a great guy. He's a nice guy.
He
He
was
is,
robotic.
but
Wouldn't that make him perfect for that?
huh?
Wouldn't that make him perfect for that? I mean,
I
he's
bet you
he's
got him
he's grown too, so I don't know. I like him. I mean,
Yeah, he's gotten better. It's just
oh,
I
okay,
have
wait,
to edit him in my head. I'm not used to him
okay,
yet.
wait. Let's do a comparison. Okay, um, you're talking about Michael B. Jordan was robotic when he early in his career. Okay, the same could be said by one of a very a person that I could not stand when I first started seeing him in the movies, but now I love him on SWAT, which is Shamar Moore. He was
Oh, I
terrible
love him.
early in his career. He was
He really
terrible,
was.
and he's
He
gotten
really
so
Well,
much
he
was.
went from
better.
model to actor, right?
He was doing daytime dramas, right? Soaps.
Yes,
He started off in soap operas, didn't he?
yes, he was.
That's
He was on Young and the Restless. He was Jazz's brother or something like that, and he was. I mean, I could deal with him on there because that wasn't great. But when he did the brothers, or not the brothers, what was it? Yeah, the brothers. I thought he was terrible in the brothers. And there was a couple other films he was in, and I was like, mm. But then by the time he started doing the FBI show, the one where he was with the FBI,
I know.
and they
NC,
traced the serial man. Yeah, they criminal minds. When he started doing that, his chops got much better. And now that he's on SWAT, I love him on SWAT. So you got to
do
give
you know why
people.
he's gotten better?
I'm sure he's got some coaching and
That
some
and he's
experience.
playing himself in everything that he plays now. He played himself when he was on
Criminal Minds.
yeah, he played himself basically when he's on. That's how he got his fan base, the baby girl fan base. Played himself. Then he got SWAT, and he still played. When you pick a character close to yourself, it's just natural, and the script moves more smoothly, especially when it goes with your
I
personality.
think they thought that about Madonna, and it didn't work. They cast her in a role that was very similar to who she is in that movie. One movie it's Suddenly Seeking Susan, I think it was.
Well, it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some people play characters that are not themselves better on screen than they do playing themselves. It's all a vulnerability thing.
Okay, so back to this. I loved him as Killmonger. I think Michael B. Jordan did an excellent job in Black Panther. I mean, he really did. So I have no doubt. I mean, some would say that Keanu Reeves was very wooden and very you know
And still is.
mechanical.
You don't
Yeah.
understand because you guys didn't watch the show that I watched that he was in, but it was really bad, and I wanted to like him because I wanted to like his character so much. So it angered me to not like him because he played the character badly.
What show are you talking about?
I can't remember the name of it. It was like a sibling show with the lady from Gilmore Girls in it. It was like a soap opera show. That's how I know you guys didn't watch it.
Yay.
Let's see.
So
Lorelai Gilmore, sibling.
why are you thinking about that? The idea of a reboot wouldn't be so bad, but I think what they're wanting to do is take all the Christian allegory elements out of it. Because the red, blue, the bill pill, the blue pill, and all of these other allegories, they were kind of significant of a waking up of the church and Christianity realizing that we're a slave to technology, our love for technology, or where that's going. There's just so much in there that you could point to as Christian allegory, and I think that they're probably wanting to do it again. They the second and the third one, they tried very hard to remove those elements, even down to the names. Huh?
I guess I guess maybe because it was so blaring to me, I didn't really see how they could remove those elements and the story be the same. But from the little stuff I've gleaned so far, they're saying that is not actually a reboot. It's something else. I'm trying to pull it up. Hold on. Yeah.
Well, no, they're saying it's not a They're saying
It's
it's
not
not
a
a
remake.
yeah, it's
It's a
not a remake.
reboot.
It's a reboot. To reboot a series is to either continue the story with new characters or to continue the story with old characters and new characters. Generally, new characters are added if you're rebooting. If you're remaking it, it's doing the movie over again with the same script, basically different people.
So like the Men in Black's coming out, the new one, that's a reboot.
Yeah,
Then
it's a reboot because it's a different. It's supposed to be like a European or some like version of ours,
okay,
and it continues the story. It's not starting over from the beginning.
okay. So with the Women Ghostbusters, there was a reboot.
It was a reboot.
Okay, got it. I like that movie. They trashed that.
They trashed it because it was the beginning of the feminism and the PC type thing where everything they want to remake everything with women and black people.
Why can't we just enjoy it if it's good? What?
Because it's frustrating to remake everything with women and black people when they can just give women and black people their own stuff.
But it's also more frustrating that there are a lot of stories that were written where like you said, it's the individuals when they wrote the books they had particular ethnicities in mind, but Hollywood, as they have been saying for the past 10 or 15 years, they've been talking about how they whitewash everything and they put in people like, don't get me wrong, I like Scarlett, what's her name? Scarlett
Johansson?
Johansson too, but I knew about Ghost in the Machine and it was Asian. I was like, why didn't they just have Asian people in the live action
Oh
movie?
yeah, there was an uproar with that. They were
Exactly.
people were angry. Are you talking about Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah,
Ghost in
that
the
was the
Shell.
same
That's what I was
thing.
saying. Ghost in the Machine was a boy, and that was 20 years ago.
No, no,
That was
it was a
horrible.
female. It was a female Asian character.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
because I
Ghost in the
remember
Shell.
seeing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember seeing the. I watched the original anime years and years ago. And so it's just like one of my favorite movies. It's goofy as all get out, but I loved it. It's the one with the bugs.
Hey,
Um,
I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
where's
I
this?
found the name of that show.
Was
It's
it?
called Parenthood.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, yeah, okay. Because I remember him. I forgot he was in there. Sure did. I remember that he was because
And
he was
that's
the
pretty much
boyfriend that had like a criminal record or something.
yeah.
the
Yeah,
bug movie is Starship Troopers.
And
Starship
that's
Troopers.
pretty much
Yeah,
where I first saw him.
yeah, yeah. Well,
So
but see, no, I'd seen him before that. I saw him in and maybe I might be off, but he was in the one that was about the young man who died on the rail in California. Something
Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station, and then I
Mm,
had seen him in something else before that. Um,
dang, I'm hot with the movies today. I could do a trivia show.
yeah.
Well, you know what? I lied. The first time I saw him was in the first Cheetah Girls, and I did not know until like 2 weeks ago that that was him.
He was in the
Really?
first Woody. Who?
He was in the first Cheetah Girls. He was one of the
Oh,
boys that would make fun of the girls in a funny way.
yeah.
Um,
Don't you ain't got to explain it. I
he
never
had
watched
hair
the
then
Cheetah
though.
Girls.
You don't know
Oh,
nothing about no cheetah
no,
girls.
no, no, Cheetah Girls. Mm-mm.
They're like, I'm good. I don't know nothing about that. I'm gonna be all right. Let
I mean,
Raven do her thing.
I've heard about it, but never watched it. Never watched it. I've
Well,
always
you don't have girls, so I don't see you ever watching it.
right.
You would have to have had daughters to do that.
Yep, look at him, mama. He had hair.
Aw, he's just a cute little boy. Aw.
Okay.
So
I don't.
anywho, back to Matrix.
Okay.
So
Yes.
let's deal with that. So it being a reboot, I don't mind that at all. But I do think, like I said, they're going to, because they tried to drive out a lot of the Christian allegory elements in the first, in the second and third one. They made it about control versus what it was, which was faith versus dependence upon machines, right? So they flipped the script and made it about, they turned these uh these figures that were symbolic of other people and things in the faith into symbols of control. So that being the case, but even then, like you said, the more they tried to remove them, they just created more. So in the essence, they had John Neo, and then they had Smith. So for a balance in the machine or in the algorithm, you had to have an evil to try to combat the good, right? So in the end, they still made a type of shadow of Satan and all of that kind of stuff too. In the end, they still made a type of shadow of a reproduction in his own likeness, which is what Satan's goal always was, to do and be exactly like God, to do what God did. He just can't create. All he can do is pervert what's in God's image into his own.
You know what?
So, I mean, they still, the more they tried to get away from it.
It's almost like there's an area in the scriptures that says don't add to or take away. So it was like they tried to add and take away, and everything that they tried to take away, they ended up adding back just in another
Ended
form.
up adding back in some other way. Yeah. So
You know what
But
I can't get with, and I try really hard.
what?
The lady that plays Trinity.
Carrie Moss, Carrie Ann Moss.
I did not like her.
She was good as Trinity.
I don't like her face.
But you know what? The problem is I can't see her in any other role. Really, you don't like her face?
I'm gonna be honest. Some people you just don't like their face. I don't like her face.
You know who I figure your favorite character would have been, Mickey, is the Merovingian. The Frenchman,
oh
Merovingian.
yeah, he
Oh
was.
yeah, I'm going to mention that past halfway through the second movie, I haven't seen the rest of the Matrix because it bored. No, not bored. I just did not think. I didn't think it was that good. I'm gonna be honest. I liked one.
I gotta tell you, it too had so much potential, and they just didn't use it. It had so much potential, and because I love the Ghost Twins, man, I love the Ghost Twins. They
Yeah.
were great characters. They were these. They had the white dreadlocks, and they were pale, and they
They were
turned into
albinos,
and
dreadlocks.
they were pimps with them switchblades, and the way that they talked, it was just a really great character. And they didn't do much of anything with them.
Well, I didn't understand how they could die if they could phase, and if there's an explosion, they could just be in phase state and never and not die. I didn't understand that. But
Yeah. There, I guess, because the code could only do so much. There are limitations to the phase because the thing about it, it's all code, it's all technology, and if it's code based, even code has its limitations. So,
but they could phase through solid rock, so why couldn't they phase through fire? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, we're not going to get on that. Sure.
So with I get that they face a lot of challenges in the filming, like the Oracle dying between the second and the third one. But we're here really to talk about Neo. So now that we've ranted about this Matrix reboot, are we moving on, Luke?
We are moving on.
All right.
Excuse my cough. So now we are moving on to greener pastures. And what is it? Is it not greener?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it okay? I want to know the right saying though.
It is. Oh, it's the right saying.
Oh, okay. And we are moving to John Wick, which has not failed us yet. So Adair has not seen the third one yet. So we are just going to talk about 1 and 2.
Thank you. I said thank you.
You don't want no spoilers? You don't want the spoilers?
Why are you playing with them?
I know.
Nope. I want to see him in all his violent and vicious glory for the first time with my own eyes. Don't tell me.
Okay. I won't tell you. Okay, so Loopy, who do you want to start it off?
I don't care. Somebody go.
Okay, so I'd like to start it off real quick. Because as I was door dashing earlier, and I just wanted to watch the first bit of the first one because I was like, having a hard time remembering what 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 his state was, his mindset and his emotional state. Because we see John Wick is we were talking about earlier that he was so angry, you know, that he wasn't really angry, how it was just about survival and it was, you know, about getting things done. But in the first one, he was really grief stricken. So you've got this man who just lost his wife, who's grief stricken, and in the subsequent movies, they've dumbed it down to you did it over a puppy. You know, I find that element frustrating, and I guess his character probably does too, because it was so much more than just a puppy. You've got this man whose very last gift from his wife, you know, to help him through her loss was this puppy dog. And now he's working his way back to feeling human again. Because after a loss like that, when you've been a killer, now we ain't talking about no normal person. We talking about a person who, you know what I'm saying, who, you know, worked as a mail, as a mail carrier every day and wife died of cancer and here you go and this is the end. We're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody who had been a contract killer that was so proficient at what he does that they called him the boogeyman, Baba Yaga. And now he's in this place where he's lost his wife completely. He left completely, and that's rare. In order for him to get out of the game, he had to do some atrocious things, right? And they basically tell you that story in the first one. In order for him to buy his way out, he literally had to kill his way out of it. He had to take several lives, and he had to achieve what no man had before him been able to, which was wipe out a dynasty and place this Russian dude back in it. So I don't know. I don't know about fate. I don't know about. I guess I would say it's awfully ironic that to come this full circle where he's killed himself out of it completely. He had several years of happiness with his wife because that's who he did it for, only to have the son of the man that he did all that killing for in the first place kill the puppy.
Not just kill the puppy, break into his home over a car. So you're telling me I'm doing all of this over a puppy when this little boy did all of this over a car that I wouldn't sell. It was the car he wouldn't sell to him.
I know you made it look like this is why he did it over the car. But I think it was the fact, like you said, he wouldn't sell to him. So it wouldn't. You won't give me what I want. That
so, kind of but it wasn't. Thing. But and so he came into his home.
Yep.
He came into his home.
Yep.
And he attacked him.
Yep.
With his friends. Killed something that belonged to him.
Not only belonged, but it was a symbol of his dead wife's love.
And took his stuff. We ain't even operating on just a dog. We operating on principle. You gotta die. And this is the world they live in.
But also,
you gotta die.
There would have to be an answer for that.
Well, also, I think that young man's attitude was supposed to be some sort of symbolism for, you know, this I guess Generation X, maybe, you know, the whole argument behind, hey, they don't understand how things work and how they just expect everything the way they want it, like right now. And I could be wrong, but that's just what I was thinking about. And thinking about his character, it was just kind of like, I want it, you're gonna give it to me, and if you ain't gonna give it to me, I'm gonna come take it.
Loopy said, "Do you mean Gen Z, not Gen X? Because I think we're Gen X."
Oh well, the Gen Z, X, Z, whatever, Z double Z, I don't know. But
so do millennials come after Gen Z?
Yeah, I think so.
No, millennials are before. Gen Z are the ones that we have right now that are eating Tide Pods. I call them the Tide Pod generation.
They're eating Tide Pods?
They're eating Tide Pods. Let's get past it.
I got you. Tide, TIDE. I got you. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes. In the world?
I call them the Tide Pods. So
I started saying when my daughter used to say when she was a kid, what in the midnight world?
No, this is literally a what the waffle moment. Uh,
Okay, so basically, what we have is we have you guys' generation, then we have the millennials, and then we have huh huh. Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. Go ahead there.
what? No, I was listening to what you were saying. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Did I cut you off?
No, I pretty much said what I was going to say on that in that
Okay.
regard.
Okay, so we have the millennials, which is my generation, then we have your guys' generation, then we have Generation Z. And basically, the millennials are in the middle between you guys' generation and Z. I don't know what you guys' generation is called.
Gen X.
Gen X and Z. So we have a respect for our elders, but we also have a love for instant gratification. Generation Z doesn't feel like they should respect anyone that they don't want to respect.
Right, I've heard a lot when I was in the middle school teaching. I just heard a lot of kids start saying, "Well, they got to earn my respect too." That's what my mom. They got to earn my respect. You don't just give anybody respect. Whereas it's always been the case.
There's a general human respect that goes to everyone, first of
Correct.
all.
Correct.
If you don't want to be, a dick your whole life.
And look, me. And it's about following the rules. It's about doing what's expected. One thing that got my just irked my soul was this generation's propensity to just walk out of class, just walk out. With no prior warning, no prior problems with the teacher before, just walk out because they feel like they can. There's a lot of that kind of going around. So if you're dealing with that kind of mentality, I wouldn't be surprised that it was caused by Tide Pods because the world just doesn't work that way. So back to John Wick. We are dealing with this situation where this man has had the worst thing that could happen to him at this point of phase in his life. He's losing the one person he had, the one and only person. We talk about that a lot about, a lot of these people being usually having one person that keeps them being their best self,
Mm-hmm.
keep them grounded. They keep them tied down to humanity. They keep them conscientious of their actions and the consequences. There's usually that one person that's that advisor that, is able to talk you down from burning down the house. And luckily through my life, I've had a couple of them, and one is still with me after almost 30 years of friendship. Is still with me. So I'm blessed to have that. But they talk you down from doing something rash and just as really unnecessary that could cause major consequences. He just lost that one person. So as bad as things are, he's trying to, and then he's got this friend from the old life coming in because this friend from the old life probably understands that he just lost this one person. And he wants to make sure that he's okay. He's like, "Why are you here, dude?" And he's like, "Hey, I'm just visiting an old friend. I ain't trying to kill you. I ain't trying to make no money. I ain't trying to profit from this situation. I'm just trying to make sure you're okay." So now these young men walk in and destroy the one thing that one influence left behind. What's a man to do
Kill him.
at that point?
I would.
Hey, my house is my castle. You came in my house and ransacked my castle. I am going to break every bone in your body.
So Adair, being the man in the group, I think you speak for all men at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't even have the skill set that he had, but I would try to figure out some way to get him to get back. That's what I would do. Like, really, you came in here over a car. You could have came and got the car and went on about your business, and everything would have been fine. But you killed my dog. Why did you kill my dog? When you could have, there was no
Can
need. It's
you
a
guys
puppy. The
imagine?
dog. The dog can't even hurt you. It's a puppy, and you killed the puppy. Like, you had me tied down. All you had to do was go get the car and roll. I could have let you live.
If it
But
was about the car.
You're
But it
right.
wasn't really about the car, was
It was about exerting his power.
it? Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you know what? I cannot imagine how bad it would have been if John Wick had kids and they walked into his house like that.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. I don't think they would have. I don't think they would have made it as far in the house as they did if he had kids. Because I would have thought. I would have thought with his skill set and his paranoia, even though he was out of the life. I mean, do you remember how? I mean, I think I saw him. Remember him laying a dude on the counter and breaking his neck. You know, and I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, this dude, he was ridiculous in this movie. I loved it. I was cringing and laughing at half of those scenes. Like, ooh, that's what they get. Ooh, that's what they get. You know. So yeah, I feel like that. Like, I think any man, and I would say even any woman who is protective of their family, of their home, would 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 pull out all the straws to protect their house.
right.
You know, and I think because I mean, then he after doing all that without his stuff, then he bust open the floor and pulled his stuff out. I was like, oh.
Right.
So if he did
Right.
that without anything, my goodness, So yeah, but it was a great movie. I enjoyed it.
It was, and so we agree. Can we agree that in this movie he's not coming just from a place of principle, but a place of grief?
I could say that. Even though he didn't spend a lot of time discussing it. I definitely, but I think also it was a thing of, in retrospect, dude, do you even know who I am?
Right.
What was so crazy is, even when the dude found out who he was, the dude was still like, he still thought he had a shot. I didn't understand it. You know
Ugh.
who this man is? You Even your daddy called him the boogeyman.
Well, and what got me is that he never apologized.
And that
He
was
never
Well,
even.
because the reason his dad told him he regretted raising him the way he did. He's an entitled little a hole.
But the
He's
dad
entitled.
never apologized to John Wick. Is what I'm saying. He had it
No,
from the
he what he
start.
said he told him, he said, I just want to talk about this. And John Wick didn't say nothing. He said, "Can we talk about this?" He was probably would have apologized given the opportunity, but John Wick just hung up. He didn't say nothing.
but
He
that
just called him and
But
he
I
was
mean,
quiet, let you know I'm coming.
no, but here's the thing. You know that you raised an a-hole, right?
yeah,
You don't have to
yeah.
call me to ask me if we can talk about it. Okay, what you should have did is, when you found out what happened, what you should have did is called and said, John, hey, man, look, I just found out. First of all, I'm sorry that this occurred.
That's what I thought. Right.
How can we, is there any way
Fix
we
this.
can do this without you having to kill him? That's what he should have done. If you start with the apology. Don't start with,
Right.
that's my son and I ain't gonna let you take him. No, because
Right.
now you saying to the man again that you have labeled the boogeyman, the man who has demonstrated to you through sheer willpower that he can get the job done. You
Sheer
know,
will.
you know that everybody that you're gonna put against him, more than likely, you might get one person or two people with a lucky shot, but more than likely, they going down. So you
Right.
know this coming out of the gate. Now, if I know that coming out of the gate, do I really think I want to die when I know that this boy is? No, I really don't want to die, and I don't think everybody else needs to die because you did something stupid.
And
I really don't.
strategically, that was a lot of poor decision making
It
for a
really was.
man who killed his way into a dynasty. That was a lot of bad decisions
But
to
here's
only end up giving them up anyway.
but here's the funny thing, and I'm a rest off what you just said. A man who killed himself into a dynasty. He didn't kill himself into a dynasty. The boogeyman killed him into
It's
the
true.
dynasty.
It's
So
true.
so his understanding of what it takes and what it took, even though he knows, he don't really know. You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? It's different. living vicariously versus having to do it yourself.
That's true.
So I think
But
that
to me, if you could have made the strategic decision that you made to run this crime organization for this long, you
It
could have
wasn't
made.
strategic though. It was opportunist. It was an opportunist situation. He saw an opportunity and he took it.
But what I'm talking about afterwards, to keep an industry like that running, you have to make a lot of
Well, see,
sound decisions.
he
And
didn't have to do much after that because he had fear. He was operating on fear. You don't have to do much after you use the boogeyman to do all your work for you.
this is true.
if you know
Secured
that,
everything.
then you know that the boogeyman is coming for you. So again, these were just he just made a lot of poor decisions. And I didn't understand that after all of those decisions, you ended up giving your son up anyway. And it's like so basically it came down to it had to be his life for him to give up his son. But I'm like, so everybody else's lives didn't matter.
Nope, nope. They are cannon fodder, as to take from Starship Troopers. They're cannon fodder. Feed the machine.
Expendable.
I'd like to rewind a little bit if we
Sorry.
can.
Yeah.
I'm finished reading this article while we're talking, and apparently they're coming out with an anime film called The Animatrix.
They already have that
That's
out.
already been out.
That came out that came out like the second year after the second one. The
This
Animatrix is
article is
already out.
written this year. Well, they're putting another one out.
Okay,
So
they have another one. Okay, because
so
they had one out already.
it's an anime film. He's calling it The Animatrix, and let's see. It's from the Animatrix in comics, set within the universe to gain an understanding of what he's trying to accomplish.
So if you look up Animatrix right now, you'll see that one was created probably the year the second Matrix was created. So unless they're rebooting that too.
Yeah, that was like in 2003.
Was it 2003?
Yeah,
This is really interesting.
yeah, because it was like several different stories. One showed the man and machine war. Then there was
I'm not
there
sure
was
how I feel about this. It looks demonic.
Anything the Wachowski brothers
But then
did
you
looks
said one showed
demonic.
what?
it was like I think it was three or four different stories. Um, that the one that they released before one like some of them were actual like hand drawn animation, and then some were CGI,
Mm,
and one of them was one of them like led up to that mailbox thing, the whole thing about trying to get I don't think it was the mailbox. They were trying to get a message to the Oracle
Zion.
or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. And so that was one of the stories. One was the story of how man had developed the machines and then tried to wipe out the machines, and then the machines retaliated, which basically was kind of like their playoff of the Terminator 2. Exactly. Remember the Terminator?
Mhm.
So again, now that I think more about it, I'm like, oh, now it makes sense why the people stole her stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, okay.
A lot of correlation between the two movies.
Yeah, like, oh, yeah, interesting. But yeah, so but I mean, I'm sure that they're doing some more stuff on it, especially if they're trying to reboot it with another in another storyline, or even like you said with the same script, just different people. Which I don't know what's gonna. My issue with that is I wouldn't want them to do that, because if it doesn't get the same reception, then it's going to be, see, that's why we don't do these movies, even though originally it was stolen from an African American writer. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Mhm.
going to be one of those catch 22s. If it doesn't do well, it's going to be because the people are going to be like, well, we loved the original. Well, it really wasn't the original
Right.
because it was a stolen facsimile of the original. But so I think that should be something else. She should do something else. Um, I mean, even with the Terminator series, the Terminator stuff, I love. Well, I don't want to get off track. Let's go. Go ahead. Let's go back. Get back to. Let's start talking about the Matrix. Anyway, we'll come back to that.
Okay,
Um,
so on to John Wick 2. Then after John Wick 2, I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. Then we'll talk about um going into John Wick 3 next week
Okay,
possibly.
wait. Before you go in the two, one of the funniest things, or one of the most interesting things about the John Wick universe was the hotel. I love the hotel and my man at the counter,
The
the
concierge.
concierge. I love him, but I love their concept. Was like, you know what? This is holy ground. None of that. Nothing happens here.
Yep.
And they pretty much maintained that until, like, I think it was in the second movie, when he ends up killing the dude at the end. Um, so yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Movie two, John
Man,
Wick.
I would have done that too, though. I would have done that too. Cause that man, that so now we going from a man who was grief stricken and driven by principle to get this job done because of the simple fact that it's not only grief, but it's anger, it's principle, it's a lot of emotions involved in why John did what he did in the first one and the extent of what he was willing to go through to get it done. And so he gets the job done and he's sitting at his home after all of that, and he's gotten another dog. Now, if you're a writer, you understand what they call a mirror moment. And a mirror moment is where the middle of the story, you find out what your character needs to do to change to live, because these are death stakes, right? He's going to either succeed or die. And so for John, the dog was pivotal. Okay. So and the mirror moment is him realizing when he's, dreaming about his wife or whatever. And then in the end, you see his transformation when he gets a new dog. Remember, he didn't get the first dog. It was given to him. And when he was, his relationship with the puppy was strained at first. He was looking at it like, what? What you want? You hungry? And gave it a bowl of cornflakes. He really was not invested in this dog, but because he was a gift from his dead wife, he learned to love the dog and knew that the dog was sent by her to help him move forward. And so now this was John's indication that he was ready to move forward at the end of this movie by getting another dog. That's the mirror moment. Only to have this man come in the second one and blow up his house. You're like, man.
Because he don't want to fulfill the contract.
Man, right.
Because I don't want to kill your sister for you. Okay.
After all that, I got a marker on you, dude. He like, man, I left that life. The only reason I went back is because they broke into my house and they killed my. I didn't intend to come back to stay. I just came back to visit. because they had to pay for it.
Well, once you back, you back. There ain't no leaving.
And see, that's what the manager said. Once you're back, you're back. There's no leaving it again. So now you're in this position where.
Well, see, I wasn't even against the dude blowing up his house because he did have a marker on. He had that blood on him. Mm-hmm. He had that marker on him. So you fulfill your marker. That's just what you do. It's disrespectful not to. So you get your house blown up. All right, let me go fulfill this marker. What I did not like was him putting a contract out on him and planning to do that from the beginning after he fulfilled the marker.
And I mean, that's standard. If you're the only person that knows that I killed my way into my position, then if I eliminate you, nobody will ever know.
But it's dumb to think he could eliminate him.
Well, maybe so, but nonetheless. And let's talk about that. So now this position of the high table.
No, we can't talk about the high table without talking about 3.
Well, we can talk about what the high table controls in 2. So why is he so all wanting to get a position at a high table? What is it that kind of control entails? Because in 2, I really didn't get into all of that. I was more into the action and him blowing stuff up.
It's the power that the high table has, the control that the high table has, the power that they have. Because and that's why I say I can't talk about the high table without talking about 3. I personally cannot, because that's where I draw. You get a lot more understanding of how powerful the high table is in 3.
So they don't give any indication of
you don't really fully understand what the high table is until 3.
Well, I pretty much figured that the high table was the governing families who's been in control forever,
Mhm.
and they basically say, "Go kill these people," and the job gets done because they're like the top echelon. I figured that much. I got that, but
I figure them for keeping order. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, but
In
I
the criminal universe?
in the John Wick world, that was their keeping order with the assassins and all of that stuff. But they were, those ruling families that had been kind of been maybe been around for, probably hundreds of years, kind of like the whole thing with the Blade series and the vampire families. That's kind of how I felt about them. And then the whole thing was is if you do something to one of those high families, then all bets are off, and everybody sends everybody after you, which is basically what the end of two sets off to set up for three. Did I
Is
misunderstand
it
that?
that, or is it because he killed in the hotel when he shouldn't have? Would
It was
he?
it was
But
both.
also because he was the guy was just voted to the high table.
I believe that was the case. Is that it was both.
There was both. Okay.
I mean, because the
So
sanctuary of the hotels, or they may have had. We don't know if there was more than one. We know that there was that one, and so
so
you
so
violated that. Which to me, because we saw that in two when the girl, or was it in the first one when the girl tried to kill him in the hotel, and then they killed her out in the
that was the
in the,
first one.
in the first one. So we knew, okay, the sanctity of the hotel, you can't do that. So that was set
Not just
everybody.
because she tried to kill John Wick, because she killed that other one too.
Yeah, she killed the other guy. So that we got that, and then also the high table guy. He gets to the high table. He knows that he sent John to kill his sister, and so he can't let everybody else know that that's what happened. That's why he did the contract to cover his tracks,
Right.
and so, but now that he gets bumped off, now because nobody really knows why or understands why John killed him, then their initial response is you came after somebody at the high table, so we're gonna get you now.
But that's
Y'all
no,
done
but I'm saying
seen.
like common sense is wouldn't you know that he wouldn't just not try to kill him for no reason?
No.
Why
As
wouldn't
far
you
as
know
they're
that?
concerned, he's the boogeyman. And he's scary, and he's so scary that he would kill anybody over a dog.
They're assassins. They're assassins, and what they do is driven by money, greed, or by position and power. And John stood to gain neither of those by killing him.
Yeah, but it's kind of like the old saying, "There's no honor among thieves." you know, uh, somebody's always trying to do. I could even say it's just like even when we look at our structure with law enforcement. Okay, the your local police don't like it when the FBI come in because the FBI don't tell the local police nothing. But then the FBI don't like it when the CIA come in because the CIA don't tell the FBI or the police nobody. But then the CIA don't like it when the NSA come in because the NSA don't tell the CIA or the FBI or the police nothing. They just take over and do what they gonna do.
CIA shouldn't be coming into anything anyway because they're for overseas, not for anything that's national base, nation
Yeah,
I don't know.
based.
You
yeah,
just gave me a headache with that whirlwind.
but that's
Uh,
what listen,
I,
listen. That's what they claim. But you can believe it if you want to.
I don't know. I don't trust nobody. But back to John Wick 2. So let's talk about the antagonist in this one because I got a kick out of this little skinny girl with anger issues that was working for the brother.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
why did you
yeah.
just have her kill her? But I
But
guess he couldn't let anybody know that he killed his sister, right?
right.
no.
Because I was like, you could have just had her kill her and be done. That chick was efficient.
Yeah, but she was probably his normal go-to person. So if she'd have done it and it was figured out that it was her, it would have been easy to track. Oh,
Yeah.
he must have been the one to send the car because he always uses her and her particular method of killing.
So let's talk about Common's role. So Common was the bodyguard of mom. I mean, of the sister, right?
I think so. I don't remember that in detail. I'm
He
gonna
was
have to
the
go look
bodyguard.
back
His
at it.
job was to guard the body.
Right,
He
And she got
failed.
killed on his watch.
He
right,
failed.
right.
Right.
And so his thing was, hey, so either I'm gonna go and die anyway, or I take you out, and hopefully I don't die.
Right.
Maybe he should try harder not to fail. I mean, but it was John Wick. It wasn't just no anybody on the street. It was John freaking Wick.
And
But
John Wick did tell him what he did. He's like, it was a marker. I had to do it. I
but
didn't want to
here,
do it.
but here's the thing,
And
and
he
I'm
didn't
and
even kill her. She killed herself, didn't she?
Mm.
I don't
She
remember.
cut her wrist in the tub
Oh yeah, I think
when
so.
John came for her.
Mm.
She did
They-
because that's why the tub was full of blood. She didn't. They didn't. He didn't shoot her. She cut her wrist. I think. I
I
think I
don't.
remember that right.
Yeah, I'm
I've
gonna have to
seen a
go back.
lot of movies since then.
I'm gonna have to
So
pull that up and look at that again because I don't remember that particular that detail. But here's the thing: is I'm laughing in my head when when you keep going. But it's the boogeyman. It's John Wick. Here's the thing: it's just like in basketball. If Jordan's on the court, are you just gonna stand back and watch him go fly past you, or are you gonna play defense?
defense.
You still got a job to do. Whether you know he's the best man on the court and then he's pretty much unstoppable. But if your job is to face him, you still gotta at least attempt to do your job. You might miss you gonna fail miserably, but you gotta
Hey,
try.
I feel like once she was dead, the job was over. Your
Yeah.
contract terminated. At that point,
I
you
mean,
were no
because
longer under contract to a dead person.
this is
It's
true,
like,
but then that
I missed that one.
that goes all the way back to the first movie. Okay, y'all know who's coming after this man's son. Y'all know you can't stop him. Do you play defense? Do you get out the way?
You get out the way. Move. Get out. Move. I, I already know. Nope. And he's talking a bunch of stuff. I just really. So coming back to this one. Now my question is, in this one, what is John Wick's emotional state? He has transitioned from being about grief because he transitioned from grief. He got a second dog. He's about starting over again. That's what this second dog symbolizes.
Mm-hmm.
I want to pick up where I left off. I want to start over.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll do it right this time. Now I have the opportunity to start over. Only for that opportunity to be snatched away by someone forcing him back into a life that he had done everything that he could do to
I'm gonna
leave.
be honest. He forced himself back into that life by doing what he did. Consequences. He could have easily sat down with the dude dad, had a man-to-man talk, whooped on the boys some.
And man wouldn't have let him do that.
Yeah, he would have let him
wouldn't
whooped
have
on his
agreed.
son.
No, he
He wouldn't.
wouldn't. And that was
Right.
and that's the key thing. Yeah, it's a pride
Yeah,
thing.
but he's the boogeyman. I ain't trying to kill him. Just give me 5 minutes in the room. Let me whoop on him, and you can have him when I'm done.
He wouldn't do that. He
Nope.
would have done that. He would have kept his son in hiding, and he would have tried to pay John off,
And
which
this
would have been a bigger insult.
and then
Yeah.
also, I'm the boss. If I tell you no, right?
Right.
But and I'm telling it, I'm the boss. And then I say, oh, well, I did let John beat the hell out of my son because of some stupid stuff. Now, who's gonna respect your power?
Ain't nobody got to know. Who said anybody got to know?
Because everybody
One
gonna
person
know
knows everything.
because his son's an idiot. His son would constantly be talking about, and my dad let John Wick beat me.
Or he would have went after John again.
Yeah.
And that's most likely what he would have done. That's too
But
humiliating.
to be honest,
say.
John had
He
a
let-
choice. He could have walked away. He could have got his car back and walked away. Or he could have, which is also a pride thing.
Mhm.
Or he could have re-entered that world and kill everybody.
But
He re-entered the world and killed everyone.
But we do agree that his emotional state was grief-stricken. So this is not just a man. It was about.
It doesn't matter. You still pay the consequences to your choices, whether you're grief-stricken or not.
That's true.
Whether you're grief-stricken, whether you're sad, angry, the rest of the world is still going and still tuning, and there's still a price to pay for your decisions. Well, that's not an excuse.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying this is an excuse. I'm just saying it's a reason. And for him, that reason was he had a very good reason for entering back into that world. I can't imagine.
But once you enter back into that world, you cannot expect for them to let you walk back out. Once you choose to re-enter.
I would have. But
well, see, that's where you and John Wick made the mistake.
Exactly, because that's not logical. If you started killing people again and you're John Wick the boogeyman, and everybody that wanted you to kill somebody is now putting in contracts, you have re-entered the world. And
but you have to be willing to take the contracts. And he wasn't. He wasn't willing to take any of the contracts. He forgot most likely about the marker. Most likely that was the last thing. That was the last thing in his mind when he's going after these people that killed the dog that his dead wife left him. It's not even so much that he forgot, but it was not something that was present in his mind. That was there. But now you got this situation and he's there fine. So he says, no, I'm not going to do it. And they have the opportunity to kill him or try to kill him.
Right. But if they try to kill him and they don't succeed, is he supposed to walk away?
So didn't they try to kill him when they blew up his house?
Right. But they did not succeed. So then at that point, does he walk away? Because if they don't find the body, they still gonna be sending people to look for him. So his natural recourse, I know mine would be, you just tried to kill me. So that means you're gonna send some more people. So that means I got to kill you.
Why do you think John didn't go after him instead?
Initially, I mean, he I don't know. He probably was trying to not do that, but you know.
Well, I mean,
what about the marker? What kind of power does that hold?
He already knew that
I can't kill you because you have the marker.
No, so the marker was basically, I did you a solid, you owe me.
Right.
Okay, and that means whatever it is, when I called it in, you got to do it. Now, I didn't come at you because I knew you was out, but now that I heard you back, I will call in that marker. Now, John says, no, I'm sorry. What? You back, bro. You got to do what I'm asking you to do.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't going to do it. Oh, okay. So since you didn't want to do what I wanted you to do, and you knew that you owed me, then I'm going to send some people to kill you.
I think it's more along the lines of, since you did not honor the code. There's a code and you ignored it. So now you get to die. You're also not allowed to kill your marker. That's person that you owe a marker to.
What kept him from killing the man? That's what I was saying. That's what I was really after. Because to me, strategically, it would have been better off for me to just kill you. Or tell your sister that you tried to hire me to kill her and then kill you.
But in either case, you're not honoring the marker. And you're still gonna have somebody trying to kill you.
That's what I'm thinking. What's the repercussion for that? Being like trying to kill somebody on hotel grounds was you die for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So which one was he made excommunicado for? For killing the high table guy, or for doing it on hotel grounds?
Hotel grounds.
Okay, because the last girl that did it on hotel grounds, they killed her. So is the contract of $14 million for him killing on
the into 3?
It's
but
still in 2.
The amount was because of who it was, but the excommunicado was, I think, double for who it was and where it took place.
I don't think it was for who it was. I think it was for doing it on sacred. He could have killed him anywhere else, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, that's true, because if they didn't know that
the high table would have been upset about it, but he wouldn't have been excommunicado. They're all assassins and killers.
Yeah.
So my thinking was because into the rhetoric was you do not want to do anything to this man because he's the high table now. And he was like, I don't care. And that's when he was forced to work through Larry Fishburne to get the weapons that he needed to go after the man.
So, Neo, after all this time, you
which brings us back around to Matrix in here. The contrast between Larry Fishburne's characters in the Matrix and in this are astounding. I'm sorry, Lawrence, because when he got older, he goes by Lawrence. Now you don't call him Larry.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
What was it about Larry Fishburne?
You call him Lawrence now. When he got older, he just let people know that don't call him Larry, call him Lawrence.
I knew him. That's just like I'm gonna call Cassius, even though he went by Muhammad. His mama named him.
Your mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
No, and I love Lawrence Fishburne, so I can't even say that.
You gotta admit, he played some very versatile roles, and he didn't disappoint in this one. So the thing is that okay, now they're telling him don't go after him because he is the high table. So there's going to be some consequence no matter where he kills him.
But he wouldn't have
because
been
he's high table.
But
that's why I was
asking,
was the award for the money for his contract to kill him part of the because he killed someone on the high table, or just because he killed on hotel grounds, or are these combined punishment?
To be honest, the only reason why people knew that John Wick killed his sister is because he told them. No one put that together.
So the girl was excommunicado then for trying to kill John Wick and killing the other guy in the first movie, but then they killed her.
Excommunicado, it's killing. Excommunicado
means you just can't come back.
Excommunicados in their world is not just kicking you out. They're kicking you out by killing you. Which is
and you have no access, and you have no access to company.
Well, that's what I thought it was. You have no access to any services or any.
We got to kind of stop talking about this because I'm trying not to go into the third.
But this is the second one.
I understand, but a lot of my examples are coming from the third one to explain what you're talking about.
Okay, Luby, go ahead. I'm gonna see it when I see it. Go ahead.
No. I'm gonna wait till next week. We about to end anyway. Oh. So I just need y'all to say y'all last comments and at the end before we end, I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna get a movie and a book. Somebody's giving me a movie and somebody's giving me a book for next week, and we're gonna do John Wick 3 and whatever movie someone names, and then we all need to watch that movie before next week, Mama say. And the book. We don't necessarily need to read the book, but looking up the book and knowing about it is a good idea. So, any more remarks for John Wick, Matrix, anything?
I got nothing.
I would say I'm a little leery on them rebooting Matrix, only because I don't think it'll get the same reception that it originally got. Unless they come up with something super fantastic, which I don't know what they could do. So that's my take on that. And then as far as John Wick, I haven't seen part 3, so I'm gonna hold my peace on that. But I love the violence of the movies, and that's all I'm gonna give you on that one.
Okay. So in my 1, 2, 3, someone's giving me a book and somebody's giving me a movie. Who's giving me a book and who's giving me a movie?
See, book. Does it matter? Does it matter a genre? Do you care?
No, don't matter.
It doesn't matter if it's in a book and a movie.
It don't matter. So Derek's going to do book, Mama Tay's going to do movie, and we are rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3, go.
Littlefoot.
Starship Troopers.
Did you say Sergeant Troopers?
I said Starship
Troopers.
Starship Troopers. That's a book?
No,
it's a book and a movie.
It's a book and a movie.
Okay, and you
But
said Littlefoot.
you'll like the
Did you mean that, or do you want a second try?
Why do I need a second try?
Okay,
Littlefoot.
so
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, yeah.
next week we are doing John Wick 3, Littlefoot, and we are doing Starship Troopers.
Yes.
All right. So join us next week. We are doing our goodbyes.
Holla back.
Back hollers. There.
Ratchet 5150.
What?
Oh, that just means it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to send us out?
Oh yeah. Thank you for joining us on the Fandom Void. See you next time.
Dun dun dun. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I ruined it. I thought you were just doing a fan void. I didn't know you was following up.
Oh,
Do
so
it
do it
again.
over. Oh, okay. Thank you for joining us on the Fandom Void.
I was waiting for you to say what you was gonna say the first time. I'm sorry.
And we out.
Oh.
And we out.